So, Stephen, what are some strategies that we need to look at or we can use when we want to return to employment immediately?
I think if we have ascertained our situation and we understand that we need to return to employment immediately, the first thing we need to do is to ask ourselves, where are we going back to? And again, it's a short-term, long-term thing. We need to understand, do we need a job immediately? Or do we want to look for something that's a little bit more permanent? And that is where our previous assessment on our immediate situation will tell us.
Okay.
I have one PMET that told me, sir, I need to go back to employment. I actually told him straight in the face, McDonald's is always hiring. And then he looked at me and he said, how am I going to tell my next employer that I worked at McDonald's? And I told him, why not? If you need a job, you need to feed your children, the next employer will definitely understand why do you work for McDonald's. Not because you are not sure about your career, but the very fact is you need to feed yourself and therefore you have to do it. Same as people that drive Grab, same as people that deliver food. I think that hiring managers, employers are definitely more sympathetic towards people that are agile, flexible, and understand what they need to do to get back to employment. The other part of it is also the fact that we do need to also understand, is this going to be a short-term fix or is this going to be a long-term strategy? So if it is a short-term fix, you got to tell yourself, when will I get out of this? So if you do end up driving Grab, if you do end up delivering food, but after a while you realize that you're getting comfortable, it pays you okay, but you don't see yourself doing this long term, then you got to quickly realize that this is only a short-term fix and you got to kick in your long-term plan when things do recover.
Understand. All right. So pretty much, I think if let's say we to fulfill our needs, we pretty much need to return to employment immediately without having to consider too much, but in the sense that knowing that every decision that we make will somehow fit into our career progression and it will fit into the picture that we want to create. And I think hiring managers can look at it in a more holistic way nowadays compared to in the past.
Correct. And also at the same time, of course, there are people that may not need to return to employment immediately because they are comfortable, they do have enough savings, and they can think of a more medium to long-term strategy with regards to returning to employment. Don't have to think about return to employment immediately. So
they pretty much have the luxury of time to plan out and make sure that everything just works out smoother in their resume and their career progression.
Correct.